During Frank's career, Harriet not only kept the home fires burning, she made sure her family gave back to the community.
Well, I give credit to Harriet for interest in philanthropy. She has always had that. And she's been on more nonprofit activities at a higher level than I have.
While Frank served on the board of directors for Boise Cascade, Chevron Texaco, 3M, and Citicorp, Harriet became the board president of the nonprofit organization Child Haven, as well as being on the boards of the Seattle Art Museum, the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, and the Sun Valley Center for the Arts. In fact, Frank and Harriet met longtime friends John and Dee FERY while Frank was serving on Boise Cascade's board of directors.
In meeting Harriet, you just felt like you knew her for a long time. She just had that gift. Not everyone has that gift, but she was quite special.
Harriet's special way with people, her zest for life, and her love of her family was seen and felt by everyone she met.
Harriet was the perfect mother-in-law. She was just a really warm, welcoming person who was interested in others. And everyone I think could relate to her, whether it was another CEO's wife or, just anyone she'd see in the neighborhood, because she was so approachable.
Generous in their philanthropic contributions, Frank and Harriet often kept quiet about what and how they gave back to their community, and their support touched the lives of many.
Most people that want to give, they do it because they want to do it. They don't do it for recognition. There's a certain sense of modesty with both Frank and Harriet.
Their daughter-in-law, LYNN, believes that attitude came from Harriet and Frank's modest beginnings.
Frank and Harriet were a couple of kids who happened to go to the University of Idaho, and because of their gifts and intelligence and talent, they went very far. But I don't think they ever forgot where they came from or forget all the people around them who support them.
Even with their busy lives, Frank and Harriet carved out time for fun, family, and friends. One special place was Sun Valley. After retirement, Frank and Harriet spent part of the year there. So did John and Dee FERY.
That's when we fished together. That's when we golfed together and went out socially. We went hiking.
Another love of Frank and Harriet's? The Seattle Mariners. Frank is part of the team's ownership group.
It took over 6 months to get this ownership group approved by Major League Baseball, and Frank was really instrumental in pushing that along.
As for Harriet, she was a big baseball fan.
She would walk into the owner's suite from time to time, and she would look at me with that smile, and she'd say, "When are you going to get these guys to hit?" And we'd all laugh.
That love of the game was shared with their family.
Every year since our son was 2, he and Craig go with Frank to spring training, and Harriet, of course, always went. So there's a big tradition around the Mariners and spring training and, sitting in the Mariner seats. Frank gets a big joy from that.
Frank's greatest joy and the love of his life, no doubt, was his beloved Harriet.
She'd stay at home, take care of the kids, welcome me back at all hours of the day and night, and bear with me through some of the trials that couples go through. So I give her an awful lot of credit for not only my success, but I think what will be our kids' success.
Following a long battle with cancer, Harriet passed away in August 2012.
I said to her that she'd been a wonderful example for me and for her grandchildren, and that she could go knowing that she had modeled that well, and that, she should feel that we'd learned the lesson.
Frank continues their spirit of giving back. Frank and Harriet are generous supporters to the betterment of children and healthcare organizations, as well as longtime supporters to the University of Idaho.
I just think children are the foundation for the future, and if we don't pay attention to them, we're going to pay a hell of a price, as are they.
Throughout his life and career, his leadership continues to be felt today.
A lot of the success that I had is because of what Frank did ahead of me. And And I think that's the legacy of leadership that Frank left, that he left Boeing, Seattle, the places, the people he touched, better for him having been there. And that's what a great leader does.
Frank Shrontz and the University of Idaho, a legacy of leading.